The show may be boring. It may have subpar writing, mediocre characters, average acting. It may be one of the most boring Marvel shows that I've seen in quite a while. But I will give it this, that James Bond-like intro, pretty freaking sweet. What's up guys, Mason the Brock Anderson here, and this is Echo Season 1, Episode 3, Tuklo. And yeah, I'm just not feeling it, and honestly this one got a little bit worse because there's a lot about this episode that just didn't make a whole lot of sense, and it feels like the writing and the editing is getting worse. First and foremost, it commits one of the biggest sins that I think Marvel has been guilty of over the past, I don't even know, maybe the past decade, and that is the fight scene editing, I guess the scene setting. It doesn't add up. There's so much about it where things are just sort of happening. We don't really get a sense of where everybody is. We don't get a sense of how many guys there actually are. We see her take out some guys, but then all of a sudden there are 10 more where it felt like she took out 10 already, and it felt like there were only maybe 10 there to begin with. So it just feels like there's no real sense of, all right, so how many guys are there? Where is everybody in this scene? They go into this laser tag arena. Where everybody is in the laser tag arena is up to our imagination because they don't actually show us. They just sort of have these scenes whenever she's taking them out one by one, but they were all just in the same area not 2 seconds ago. And I know she's got the music blaring, so maybe it's somewhat difficult to hear, but it still feels weird that they would all just separate so much to where she takes out one guy, manages to stand him up unconscious, hanging off of something, and then another guy turns around the corner to look at him, and there's a guy next to him, but she comes over, takes him out, and then the guy that was just next to him doesn't see that for some... There's just so much about the scene that it's impossible to keep track of, and it's just very lazy, and it's something that's become a huge pet peeve of mine. I talked about it a lot in Secret Invasion. There were so many scenes that were very much like that, where the editing and the scene setting was not good enough. And especially whenever it's a situation where the good guy is taking down the bad guys one by one and picking them off, you really need to have a sense of where everybody is. Because in this situation, like I said, so many moments where it felt like somebody should be seeing her take out this one guy because they were all just together in a little group. And now all of a sudden they're so separated out of nowhere to the point where she could take him out one by one. So that was frustrating, but really that was just the shit cherry on top of the shit cake because everything building up to that was really stupid. This Vicky guy and these two girls that we've not seen before now, that I guess he's just had working for him this whole time, them kidnapping Maya. Don't know how they managed to track her down and chloroform her to take her in, but they do. They have Henry also captured somehow. They put her in this room. They take off her foot, which now also she went from having that little makeshift thing that her grandfather made her. She went from having that to now all of a sudden she has a boot that has a knife on it. Where did that come from? But they stick her in this room, put the foot near her. She doesn't move for it. Then all of a sudden Bonnie shows up. Don't know why she's there, but she's there. She goes in. They let Henry talk to her. He gives her a signal to get out of there so she can signal somebody to bring him in. But to them, there's no sense of, oh, he signaled her. They just think that he managed to talk her out and send her away with no real issue. And yet they're still kidnapping her at the truck. Why? Did they just think, oh, let's follow her and make sure that she's actually leaving? When did they decide to do that? Who's the one that grabbed her? Because the one girl was supposed to be watching Maya, or at least outside of Maya's room, and then the other two were supposed to be watching Henry. So who went out to grab Bonnie? We never see. We just see an arm come up and grab her, and now she's being put in the room with Maya, and now Maya decides, oh, okay, now Bonnie's here, now I can actually break out of this. And so she does. She and Bonnie have a little conversation, and it feels like she's setting up something, and then whenever Vicky and the two girls come in to talk to him again, nothing happens. One of the girls, I don't know the girls' names at all, but one of them knocks the phone out of Vicky's hand toward Maya. Maya grabs it, shows that her hands are uncuffed, and then they all pull guns, and just nothing happens. Maya punches Bonnie, they take Bonnie out of the room, and leave her in there, uncuffed. She doesn't try to fight them off, even though it's just 3 people with, yeah, they have guns, but they're not fighters. If she's able to fight Daredevil, I'm pretty sure she could take these 3 out like that. But instead she sets up this thing where she takes out the light, takes out the one girl, and leaves her unconscious, and sends a picture to Vicky and his other girl. Actually, I think it was his sister now that I'm thinking about it. So then the Zane guy kills Vicky, and then Maya shuts off the lights and turns on the loud music, and that sets up for the stupid fight scene that follows. But all of that doesn't make sense. And on top of that, the fight ends with the bad guys threatening Henry and Bonnie, making Maya give up. And now they're about to be killed. And if not for Kingpin calling, they both would have been. And what's stupid about that is in the last episode, Maya said that she had a plan and it was all working out according to plan. Was this part of your plan? It didn't seem like it. So you set up this whole thing, you had this plan in place, and then almost instantly it goes not according to plan and you nearly get killed because of it. That's supposed to make our main character look smart? And I'm not saying main characters can't make mistakes, but whenever you have this whole vague, oh, everything's going according to plan thing in the last episode, I expect then for things to continue to go according to plan. So in the next episode, whenever she's about to get killed and things just happenstance work out to where she doesn't get killed, you kind of take away some of the impact of that scene in the last episode where she says, everything's under control. It's not chaos. I know what I'm doing. Clearly you don't. Outside of that, you've also got some other story beats. The grandfather talking to the grandmother felt like it didn't go anywhere, really. We got another look back in history at this one girl who wanted to be part of these light horsemen or whatever they're called, and they told her she couldn't because she's a girl, and then I guess she gets a power boost or whatever to make her even more of a sharpshooter than she was before. It felt odd because they showed she was very clearly a good shot already, and then all of a sudden she gets that little glowing thing in her hands, and now she is, I guess, even better? I don't know. I don't understand what this is all leading to. It feels like such a periphery type of thing compared to everything else going on with Maya and Kingpin and this war that's building up. But here's the thing. That all is just an issue that I had with the story and how bad the story writing is. We gotta talk about the acting. Because I've said so far the acting has just sort of been okay. It's been standard. Nothing too bad. It got real bad in this one. Vicky and the two girls were awful. And I'll be honest, Zane is kind of riding that line. It feels like he's trying too hard to be a character. But Vicky and the two girls were just bad. So many of their lines felt so disingenuous. The phone slap. Wow. Like, I do not think I've seen a phone slap out of frustration look anything like what we saw in this episode. It was such a pathetic, just, and then the phone goes flying across the room. There's nothing else I could do but laugh. It was so bad. Even the scene whenever Maya takes down the one girl that comes in to check on her after she takes down the light. The girl playing Maya, assuming this is her in the fight scenes later on, she's shown she can do fight scenes pretty well. But that scene, when she takes down the one girl, was not convincing at all. It did not look like she actually put any force into the attack that she threw at her. And then the editing for the fight as well. After they got out of the whole laser tag mess that they were in, there were several shots that were just really poorly edited. There was one in particular where it just kept cutting forward about a half second, just out of nowhere. It didn't really add anything to the fight. It didn't feel like it was cutting in time with the beat. It just felt like they were jumping forward just a tiny bit. I guess to make it feel stylized, but it didn't work. Because that's the only time in the whole fight that they did that. Even the parts of the fight when they were cutting to the girl, I think her name was Tuklo, which is the name of the episode. Whenever they were cutting to her, showing her sharpshooting and then cutting to Maya shooting the guys, those jump cuts did not feel natural and it felt very jarring. It felt more distracting than it was adding to the scene. So overall, the editing on the fight scene was just really poor. So all of that to say, this episode was just really not that good. Even at the end, showing Kingpin there. It's supposed to build up this intensity and this excitement to see, oh, what's going to happen next. I don't really feel it. And first of all, we've seen he really cares for Maya, so I don't think, even with her shooting him in the face, I don't think he's just going to attack her and try to kill her. Could be wrong. But I feel like more so he's going to try to show her the error of her ways, at least from his point of view, and show her why what she's doing is more so hurting herself than hurting him. Sure, other villains would probably just come in super angry at everything Maya's done and try to kick the shit out of her. But for Kingpin, he's more so probably going to approach this and try to find a way to reason with her and get her back on his side, which is not going to be easy because obviously Maya knows about what he did to her father. So really the only two positives I can really take out of the show at the moment is, first of all, the intro. Like I said in my intro, the intro is really cool. It feels very James Bond-esque. The singer has kind of an Adele sound to her voice, and the visuals just have something about it very James Bond in my mind. I don't know why they went with that style, because it's definitely not the feel of the show at all, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool. The other thing that's interesting, which unfortunately does not really help the show, is it is kind of cool to see some of this stuff, which I'm assuming is real life borrowed from Native American culture. like the hymnal they're singing at the end. Some of the stories that are being told probably are similar to stories that have been passed down through Native American culture. That's cool, but that's not really why I'm here. If I wanted to learn about Native American culture, I'd probably go watch a documentary on it. I'm here to watch a Marvel show, an action show. I'm here to watch superheroes fight, or if not superheroes, then at least just heroes fighting against bad guys. And honestly, I mean, Maya's not really acting like a hero, so I'm not really getting that. If the best thing about your superhero show is some of the cool cultural things that you're bringing in, kind of feels like you're missing the mark. Probably not telling the right story. So unfortunately, with only 2 episodes left, really don't have much hope that they're going to turn things around. I don't know how this show's going to end, because it feels like we should just be getting started, but then again, I'm just more so used to having longer seasons, at least 8 episodes. So it's really weird to only have 5, and we're basically almost done now. But those are all my thoughts, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know what we can talk about and discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Echo reviews. Also check out the channel, we have a lot of other reviews on here, so check those out if you have time. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.